Three, two, one, and we're live. Welcome everyone to the Ethereal podcast. I'm your host, Alex.
And I'm Ian.
Now you're probably wondering, what is this? This is a podcast show dedicated to community, authenticity, lounging, learning, and development.
Yeah, so our idea was, we want to make this a podcast for the people. So we want to be as genuine and as open as possible in our discussions as we continue forward in this on this channel. So welcome to our first episode. It'll be fun.
Absolutely. So I was born and raised in Dallas, Texas. I am currently in France right now, and I'm near Paris in a little town called Crécy-la-Chapelle.
Ooh, that sounds like a famous dish.
A culinary or gastronomy.
Oh, excuse me. Pardon me.
Oui.
Cool. Well, yeah.
Where are you from?
Where am I from? I'm from Texas. I grew up my entire life in Texas, but I moved around several places. I won't bore you with the cartography, but I moved around quite a bit. And then after I got out of college, I moved around a little bit in Florida and Oklahoma, and then I finally just made my way back here. Couldn't leave. Family, friends. It's a huge state with a lot of opportunities. So I'm like, screw it, I'm moving back here. So now I'm in the DFW area, which is ironically where you started. So
yeah. And do you know the kind of famous motto of Texas?
I mean, it's always bigger. Is that the one I
Exactly. Everything's
yes,
bigger
sir.
in Texas.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
So anyways, us two, what we're going to do is we're going to have a weekly discussion with y'all, the community and the audience, as well as bring on some guests from time to time.
Yep.
I think we're going to be working on 1 to 2 episodes a week. And hopefully we can have some independent content between us, maybe ratings and reviews of certain places or things. And then to kind of give you a little bit more context for this podcast, why it's called the Ethereal Podcast, this is essentially the community engagement part of this idea that we're working on called the Ethereal Institute. It's basically a think tank that's about humanity, about history, and about technology. So why don't you go ahead and tell them the quote of the week that we're using to kick off the Ethereal Podcast?
Yeah, so we're hoping that we can introduce the podcast per episode with just with the food for thought, and we'll hopefully end it as well with food for thought. So the quote of the week, to answer your question, is "Question everything, learn something, answer nothing," by Euripides, the famous philosopher. So that is definitely something to apply to this first episode, really, because we're trying to establish, okay, why are we here, right? Why do we want to even continue to improve, continue to do day to day? And so hopefully we can talk about that today. That'd be awesome.
Exactly. And let's go ahead and dive a little bit more deeper into us as hosts. So could you tell me a little bit about resume type information? Tell me the high school that you went to and the college that you graduated from. If you even went to college. I don't know. We're going to find out.
Ouch. Man, no. Well, and that's something I think we should talk about in a future episode is, college does not mean you should make or break your life. I think that's a really interesting topic because that seems to be everywhere now with, the what do they call it? The Great Resignation. So anyway, we'll talk about that later. But so basically my whole life, I was homeschooled. So I lived with my folks. I was raised on a homeschooling curriculum. It was dubbed the classical education model. So essentially, I learned a lot of Latin, learned a lot of critical thinking skills, and that helped me a lot, even if I was not always around a bunch of peers, I think. And then school for college, I went to Baylor University, so that was out of Waco, Texas. So unfortunately, Waco does not always have the best rep, because the first thing people sometimes think of is the cult. So that's great. But it's a really great school, and I had a lot of fun while I was there. And yeah, so Alex, we were talking about, okay, well, great. Now they know a little bit about what what we did, just like everyone else, in high school and beyond. But a question we wanted to kind of ask ourselves was, okay, well, how would you apply that to actually facing real world struggles, right? So, when I got out of school, I wanted to get in that corporate grind, right? So I wanted to climb that ladder, get there as fast as possible without really looking in hindsight. So when COVID hit, I was in Florida at the time, and I really did not understand how much family and friends meant to me. I know that sounds really narcissistic, but stay with me. I was isolated, like many of us, right? And for the first time, I think I realized how quick life passes you by, even if it was a great job. For context, it was stable, a decent pay and all that, but family and friends trump all of that. And I think that
Absolutely.
as I was, and as I got old, and it's just a maturity thing, and I don't think I had the real world experience necessary to actually see stuff like that. So anyway, that was a key moment in my life just recently. So and so to continue on with that, like what propels us forward, right? What gets us motivated to get out in the real world and improve on a day-to-day basis. So Alex, I think we found a mutual connection through coding and finance. That those are big topics right now
Sure.
in the world. And I dare say, we might want to talk about that in a future episode, but that's just me. And then we were talking recently, right, about weight training. And that's something I did not take seriously at all. When I was in school, even up until, like, I don't know, a year and a half ago, I did not care about exercise, did not care about taking care of myself, and so that those basic factors, to some of y'all are so critical, and I'm trying every day, to make that a day-to-day aspect of my life. So of course, music. Everyone loves music. I try to open my palette as much as I can, the big world out there, man. So
For sure.
yeah, so I think I pretty much covered all of what I'm interested in, the basic, like, tell me about yourself stuff that you find in an interview. So Alex, I'll hand it over to you, man.
Yeah, I'll take it away. So I went to high school, and actually I went to a single school my whole entire life. And that school is called PCA. It stands for Prestonwood Christian Academy. So since I was in pre-K all the way till high school, I stayed in this little bubble. And they even have a term at the school for people that do this called lifers, because your whole life is spent in this little bubble. And then after that, I went to OU, Boomer Sooner. And then during the pandemic, I really saw an opportunity to capitalize on gaining experience and skills that are not necessarily tied toward your education or your career pathway. I found that, like, experiences and traveling is a really important aspect of life that not a lot of us get to touch. And I feel like it's used as kind of like a little IV bag in our lifetime. Like we work for 6 months, we get a little 2-week drop down into our IV. And then I just felt like ironically enough, now is the perfect time to travel and experience during COVID, because at OU, I was going to go to the next semester with only one class in person. That was a math class. And I was not feeling like paying over 10 grand a semester for an education that is online whenever I could just move towards an actual online degree program, because they're popular and they're starting to become a big deal because like you mentioned,
Yep.
like college is changing, and as we know, in today's society and modern life, the times are changing. So I really took advantage of that, and that's one of the reasons I'm here in France, is to experience and travel and just kind of learn more about humans and the planet. And for me, whenever I was in high school, there was a summer, I believe it was freshman to sophomore year, upcoming
Mhm.
sophomore, that summer. I think I spent almost the whole summer just watching YouTube videos and like just doing like maybe 5 to 8 hours of work if I was scheduled. And
Yeah.
there was a wake up call that came. I was like, dang, I have no personality and I'm doing absolutely nothing with my life. Like, I remember
Yeah.
reading about a 17-year-old that had this idea and pursued it with like everything he had, and someone like invested in him, and he had like a whole entire, I think it was over $1 million investment, and he was already starting to found his a company and just make the world a better place. And I was like, dang, I could be doing something
Yeah.
like that. So the next summer and throughout the year, I worked really hard to kind of find the things that I enjoy. And so for me, I really enjoy. I think I enjoy art, and it's several forms of media, like whether it's painting or movies or music. I really just enjoy art, and so from that, like I really enjoy watching movies, but also I like producing like miniature films, like just like even little montages. I find that really enjoyable, and then
Yeah.
along with that, music. I mean, I I really, really enjoy music to the point where I actually started developing music in high school, and I'm continuing to learn and develop music, and along and also I think that, like as you mentioned earlier, I found health, like it's just in general the whole scope of health, like food, like exercise, like even
Yep.
self care. Like I found that to be really important from day to day, because I mean, low key, I want to live longer than 50, and I want to like make the most of life. So I really started devoting myself to just taking care of myself and treating myself as like a temple that I gotta every day, whether like I gotta check the structural support, I gotta clean, I gotta. There's something about your life that you can make a difference and improve the quality of your body along at the same time. I feel like it's almost a parallel. Whenever you improve your body and your mind, that your life can get better. I really do feel like that's the key to a lot of our problems, is just not taking care of ourselves because we're so busy in modern life.
Oh,
And then
absolutely. Yeah.
finally, I would say that I really enjoy building things. Like ever since I was a kid, I love Legos. Man, they're the best. Honestly, they're one of the best like toys and just general phenomenons that kids can experience. Like I know a lot of times today they have like stimulus things like foam and slime, but Legos are where it's at. I
Oh,
really
are you
believe
kidding?
Legos are.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. I mean that's like that should be a standard in terms of what people play with. Like, are you kidding? Like, yeah, forget the Orbeez. We're not. We're no, no, no,
Oh,
no.
oh
I
no,
see
we ain't
that
playing with Orbeez.
everywhere.
Uh-uh.
No, I see that everywhere on YouTube, man. Like man, I feel bad for kids because all they got is like plastic beads, bro. Like it's not fair. It's not fair.
And from Legos, I feel like Legos also teach you like super important concepts about like engineering. Just like the idea of building things from materials around us is innate in us. It's like one of the most like
Oh
fundamental
yeah.
qualities, and I think Legos expresses that in a very positive manner for kids. Because I mean, I grew up playing Legos, and then eventually, I actually one of my interests that I got into that I just haven't had the opportunity to fully like develop and research was woodworking. I built a guitar
Hmm.
stand um, for like out of wood, and to be honest with you, I originally got into woodworking for myself to make myself feel better, because I know that Jesus was a carpenter at some point. So I was like, man, I want to be more like Jesus. And so I started woodworking.
I didn't know that, man. I didn't realize that you followed that. I thought I heard the Lego story. We've talked about that before, but that's really cool. I didn't know that. It's awesome.
Yeah. And then along with that, I was curious. So Ian, tell me, we talked about our interests. We talked about kind of who we are, where we are, whatnot. But
Yeah.
what do you do? What do you do?
What do I do? See, that is a very important question. So as of now, I recently, like I said, moved back to Dallas. So or moved to Dallas, I should say. And yeah, started up yet another career path in software. That's obviously an industry that just doesn't stop, right? So obviously you need to keep focused, you need to keep driving. So I moved back here and found a great opportunity with the company. So yeah, I've been here for about a year, trying to not, my biggest problem whenever I get home, and you hinted at this earlier when we were talking about like the resume part of things, right? Is I struggle to not just sit on my computer and be completely like brain dead, if that makes sense, right? So we've, I think, privately been talking about that a lot, and with a couple other people too, and at the office we're like, okay, man, we existing out here. And it sounds sad, but like, there's plenty of, there's so many avenues, right, to press forward. So all that being said, I've tried to focus more on personal finance, because for a lot of people, and myself included at one point, it was, it's something stressful to think about. It's something you don't want to talk about, you don't want to think about. It's a hush hush kind of, almost, it's like a taboo kind of thing almost. I don't know if you agree, but in my opinion, like, no one wants to talk about it. And I do. I love talking about it. I love diving into numbers, to budgeting, to finance. I know that sounds boring and repetitive, but it brings a lot of peace knowing where your money's coming from and where your money can go. And there's so many avenues. Like, it's not too late. It's not too late for people like you and I. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
I love doing that. And an even more page turning subject, I've really gotten into geography, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like just recently, like we're talking like a couple months, right? And growing up, I like looking at capitals in different countries, because keep in mind, I mentioned I was homeschooled, so we didn't travel a whole lot. We traveled within a few states, but we didn't. I've never been to another country except technically Mexico. Technically. Does Cancun count? We got a really good deal in Cancun one year.
I'd say yes.
That counts.
Yeah, for sure.
That counts. Okay, never mind. I lied. But at any rate, I would love, traveling, of course, is what everyone wants to do. I feel like very few people, I think, don't want to travel. I know everyone says, "Oh, I love to travel, man. It's such a beautiful hobby. I love it." But like, okay, everyone likes to travel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but when you can't, geography, I think, is a great substitute, because you learn. I mean, there's no medium like the internet to learn about us. There's no greater way to figure out someone on the other side of the world, what they're thinking, what they're doing. So I love geography. Love just in general looking at different countries, different cultures. It's awesome. I just eat that up, man. It's fun. So yeah, that's what I'm up. That's in a nutshell what I'm up to lately. How about you, man? What are you up to?
I gotta tell you. Well, I'm gonna go back to that geography real quick, because this is a new development that I've heard about. I'll tell you something. Like, I literally don't think that I could name the 50 states of America. Like, sometimes people will say a place and I'll be like, I forgot that was real, and then I'll think, I've never been to it, and I've never met a person from this state. Is it even real? And I'll have to.
Uh, yeah, no, well, if you think about it, I mean, okay, everyone kind of knows Wyoming because Kanye, but like, okay, no one talks. I mean, no offense to anyone from West Virginia, but like, the only reason we know about your state is because of John Denver. Let's be real. You
Oh,
know, yeah, no, I'm kidding, but
dang! Anybody in the audience? Oh,
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. the one person from I think Charleston, I think is the capital. But my point is, yeah, it's you have a few states where like everyone is
Mhm.
concentrated, right? Like pretty much everyone, like California, New York, Texas, Georgia, Florida, those places, right?
Yep.
And so the man, everyone else gets left out, dude. So I enjoy
The
looking at places.
Midwest.
Yeah, exactly. Like places like that. Like there are people there, believe it or not. So I like I like at least acknowledging y'all and that y'all exist.
Okay, I will say I
Yeah.
can confirm that Wyoming exists because I took a road trip with my
Oh,
friends all the way up to Montana from Dallas, and
yeah.
we actually stopped in Wyoming, like just on the side of the road in the middle. Like already, Wyoming is the middle of nowhere, but like we're in the middle of nowhere in Wyoming, like just because one of our friends had to pee, and
Yeah.
so we got out and like we were just like looking around and like just like trying to see if we could see any livestock or cattle. And then like one of my friends like pointed up and goes, "Bro, look up." And I'll tell you, it was the like coolest experience looking at stars in my life because I looked
Oh
up
wow,
and
yeah.
I could see stars. Not I could like not only stars, but I could literally see the coloring of the galaxy, like the Milky Way. Like it was incredible just to see that it even exists. Like at first I was like, dude, this is no way. Is that the actual coloring or is that clouds? And like it was
Yeah.
for real. And I mean
Uh,
that really like being in the middle of nowhere and looking up and seeing such a massive like celestial body really put me into perspective of how I'm just like a tiny little piece of a grain of salt on a
oh
beach.
yeah. No. And man, this sounds sad, but I miss the stars. You don't really get to see them out, in the city. So
Light
that
pollution.
no, for real. Like, what? Wait, wasn't there that? Okay, this probably years ago, but wasn't there that crazy story of LA when the power went out and like every single person in LA was in kind of a shell shock. It seemed
Mm-hmm.
like for a little bit, and that there were reports of people freaking out, calling 911 because they thought there was like meteorites coming down from the
Oh my
sky.
gosh. I
And
did not hear about this, but that
this,
sounds like something. So, an average human being from LA, I can see that happening.
I don't know. It could just be internet BS. I don't know, but I swear I've read that before. So, but that could have been like some guy named, Robert on a internet forum. So I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that sounds awesome, man. Um, the world's, I don't know. The world is so small yet so big. I know. Ooh, that's deep. But I want to see more of it before I get too old to move around. And I think
Absolutely,
yeah, so I'm with you there, man. That's awesome. That's a cool story.
for sure. Thank you. I appreciate the support from my co-host. I really want to give a shout out. Please put in the comments who you like more at the moment. But anyways, let me get back to what I
Competition,
do.
man. Internet drama already. Sorry, go
I
ahead.
know I'm already dividing the audience. Terrible. I'm sorry, folks. But let me go ahead and get into some of the things I do. So right now, I'm actually still in school. I'm doing online education for computer science, and then on the side, I am obviously traveling, doing the touristy things, tasting the great wines and culinary dishes across Europe and specifically in France. And then I've also kind of gotten into games. I think uh,
Hmm?
during this pandemic, as well as like being in France, you you need to find a good break. And although it's ironic because I can actually like walk outside and just go 10 minutes down the street and everything looks like a painting because it's all the French countryside with the hills and all the different colors of trees and the different types of trees as well and the farmland. But I really have been getting into games because I it's surprising how much they've developed. I remember actually like downloading the Minecraft beta version whenever I was like in middle
Hey,
school. And I was
yeah.
like trying to figure out like, bro, how do I get light at night? What can I do with this coal? Like, come on.
Wait,
What's the
wait. But
crafting like formula?
I don't even remember. It had coal. I thought it had just had like water and grass. Like there wasn't much at all. Like way back, like 2011, whenever it came out, like the OG free one. Oh, I forgot about that,
Remember,
man. Oh,
maybe that was it. I remember like maybe what I'm thinking is that I was like, how can I like see at night? But there was no way. But then now that I've played it and it's all updated, it's like, where was the coal? And there was no coal. That's why. But
yeah. No,
anyways,
I don't
I
remember.
I've just been getting into games, trying to get into games. It's difficulty because the graphics card shortage as well as like games are expensive. So like most
Yeah.
recently I've been playing Undertale. It's a fun little game that my MacBook Pro can handle. So I've been playing that. But other than that, like just day-to-day stuff, living as a human. And at this point, the audience is probably wondering, since I divided them, how did we even meet?
Well, it was a result of internet drama, like we said. No. Um, yeah, man. You, I distinctly remember. So we had a couple other roommates. I distinctly remember like it was as far as I know, it was like completely random assignment, but you could choose if you knew somebody, right? Is
Yeah,
that kind of how the system works? Okay,
you
I
could
think a
pair
lot.
yourself up and then like leave blanks if you didn't have if you didn't know who else.
Right. So I was the rando, if I understand correctly, and I remember I won't say his name, but one of our roommates was like, "Oh, are you helping someone move in?" I'm like,
Oh no.
"Nope, it's your boy. What's up? I'm looking for cheap rent." Because I just graduated. Like for context, I graduated college like a few months earlier, right?
Mhm.
So I was trying to find like or I guess it would have been about a year, but whatever. I was looking for a cheap place for rent because my lease was almost up. So I was like, trying to find somewhere cheap, and everyone was like, okay, well, he's here. This guy's
Dude,
here.
I
I don't.
I I distinctly remember like one part of like you moving in that was like so confusing was your name because whenever you introduced yourself, you said Ian, but we all had like the list like because they gave us like packets of information for the facilities as well as like our roommate stuff, and
Yeah.
we all saw like Charles, but you introduced yourself as Ian. So like with me and my friends, the other two roommates, we were all like, is his name Charles or Ian? And we were all so scared to talk to you because we didn't know what to call you, and we were like, man, frick, he's gonna be upset if we this is gonna be a bad start if we can't even remember his name because like that's such an important part. But I don't know why it's always so hard to
Oh,
remember.
well, dude, like if I actually got offended by that's my fault because I mean, yeah, like in school, like professors would always call me like Charles and stuff. Like,
Mhm.
dude, it would almost be cruel to you guys for me to be offended by that. It like if I was actually gonna be offended, I would do it just like mess with you, I think, but I wouldn't, because I would confuse myself at some point. So, but yeah, so yeah, I guess our mutual, I guess what you were in computer science at that point. You were still on the grind at OU, right? So
Yep. Oh, and
yeah,
keep in
that
mind, this was an apartment complex in Norman, Oklahoma. I don't think we should speak of this name because this place, let me tell you, we got some stories and some experiences,
oh
and
sure,
I feel
yeah.
like we got exposed to several unknown viruses there as well.
But this is like we're talking like COVID-18. Yeah. That was a horrible joke. That was so bad. I'm sorry.
No, it was good. That was good.
I'm getting. I see the dislike bar just growing with each lame joke that passes by this podcast.
Oh no, hey, they're just haters. They're just haters.
They're just they're just haters, man. But
so let's talk a little bit about us and like our humble beginnings. So, I'm curious. I don't think I've asked you this, and I don't think you've talked about it before. But what was your first job, and can you tell me like an embarrassing story, or at least a story that made a difference to your workplace because of an action that you did?
Oh Lord. All right. Well, let me start out with the good part, which is like my first job, because that for the most part, if I remember right, it went pretty well. So this is back like in middle school, right? So I grew up out in the country. I don't think I mentioned that, but I grew up in the middle of nowhere, and in Central Texas. So for those of you that don't know or have never been to Texas, there is a huge wine industry. You probably know this, Alex. Huge wine industry, and a lot of vineyards out there. So yeah, a church friend of ours hired me on picking grapes. That was my first real job.
No way.
Yeah, like I was out there and like in the field with all the employees out there, and it actually was a pretty cool summer. I got lucky, so it wasn't like 110 every day.
Oh dear gosh.
But oh yeah, it could have been. But they gave us free I think egg sandwiches. So but
Hold
yeah,
up. I got a question. So not to cut you off, but I learned about this while I was here in France, because wine and whatnot. So I wanted to ask if they were doing this in Central Texas, because it's a really interesting technique for growing grapes. So what they do in France is that in order to make some of the grapes richer and more sweet, as well as just more potent in general, is to actually on a vineyard, they take off half of the grapes that are on there, so that the stem actually gives the rest of the nutrients that would be used onto the leftover grapes that are sitting and waiting.
Yeah. No, I've heard about that. I don't remember the term. There is a term, like a formal term, like you slice off like at an angle, like part of the stem. Yeah, I didn't. I'll admit that it makes me mad. I can't remember the term, but I think they do that with a lot of stuff, like orchards and I can't remember it. But yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
For sure.
Like, I'm no wine expert. I'm no wino. I was there for a summer, one summer. But to be fair, I did learn a decent amount. Like my boss was really nice. But what did you do, man? I think I know what you started out with, but I'll let you explain.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Uh-oh. You're trying to get away from it. You didn't tell us the story that's possibly embarrassing.
Dang it. All right, fine. All right. I was trying to jump subjects here.
Nope.
All right. Okay. So yeah, I think the worst part isn't even the story. It's how old I was. It was senior year, so this is a couple years back of college. So I was 21. I was playing tennis. Like we had for context, you have to take a couple PE credits. It was a lot like high school. I don't know why they make grown people take PE, but you should exercise, obviously. But anyway, our teacher was making us like rotate for singles. So we were going back and forth on the court, just getting some, just getting the blood flowing. It's kind of a warm-up thing, right? And there may or may not have been someone there that I kind of liked.
Oh shoot!
A
like baddie, a tennis baddie.
A tennis. I would say a tennis like middle-y. Okay. I don't even know. Anyway, yeah. So we had at that point kind of gotten to know each other a decent amount and got to talking and whatnot. But that ship sailed promptly after this. So like, get this, trying to show off, right?
Uh-oh.
He was our coach was like, go, run. Yeah, get fast as you can, switch out. And I tried to jump over the net, and I went. I mean, we're talking, flat
like you
on my
pancaked.
face. Yeah, man, that was awful. I was a grown ass man. It's not as bad, I think, if you're a kid, like if you're in grade school, but no, no one. The worst part was like no one said anything. Like everyone was like silent. They're like, oh.
People were just like looking in the way. They're like, oh, I don't see that.
Yeah, and I was like, and of course the girl's like, oh God, I'd never want to talk to this dude again.
Let me tell you, this would have been a pro move. You should have like played it off. You should have like just laid there for half a second and then start doing push-ups.
No, I should do some burpees. Just be like, hold on, man. Yeah, oh no, my hand may be split in half, but it's all right. Yeah.
Coach, I'm just doing a little extra work. I gotta teach him. How to be an alpha tennis player.
No, I think aren't the kids calling it Sigma now? And aren't you a Sigma male if you start doing that?
The Sigma male grind set.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Anyway, burpees before breakfast. Okay. Not supposed to, can't curse on YouTube. Can't do that anymore. So I'll watch myself.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. No.
All right. I'll go ahead and spill the beans. So.
Yeah, it's your turn now.
my first job was actually a grocery sacker at Market Street, which is like it's like a higher class Kroger, because you got all these specialized products, and then you got me, aka the grocery sacker, that would put your stuff in the bag, walk out with the little cart, make sure that everything's there, and then put it in the back of your car, and tell you some nice words, and then go back in and repeat.
Yep.
So that was my first job. Very humbling, because let me tell you, some people were having a bad day, and some people were just trying to get stuff done. And in that job, I think I felt like a water boy the whole entire time. But eventually, this is now a segue into my embarrassing story. So my embarrassing story is going to be about the job. So eventually, they started trusting me with money, which is dangerous. And so they let me be a cashier. And so part of cashier training is the alcohol and cigarettes, tobacco products. I think it's spray painting. There's laws in Texas, and I think there's general blanket laws across the U.S. for these type of products.
The aerosol, yeah.
Yep, and so I was told that we need to card everyone. We even like at Market Street, they trained me to even if it looked suspicious, like there was like a underage looking kid and then an older person, and it seemed like he was buying for the underage kid, we could not sell it to him. I would have to like bring over not the manager right there. I forget what the correct title was, but there was a person that was managing us as sackers. And so anyways, my embarrassing moment came whenever I was following the rules, right? So I think it was my second day as a cashier. The first day I screwed up, I was missing, I think like $12 at the end of the day, because they pull the registers and then they count it, and they let you know how bad you screwed up. And so this day I was trying to do really good, and I was checking out an older lady. I would say maybe
that's inappropriate, dude. No, I'm kidding.
No, well, hey.
Go ahead,
I was checking out her products.
Okay.
Shoot.
Clarification there.
And so anyways, she was buying some alcohol. I believe it was some wine and then maybe beer. And she was about 60 or 70, and I I was, putting all of the products across the scanner, and then I get to the wine, and I'm like, "Ma'am, can I see your card, please?" And she took about, I'd say 8 seconds staring at me, and I was just like waiting. I was like, okay, maybe she didn't hear me,
Yeah.
and like maybe she has like some problem with hearing aids or something. She's kind of old, and that was my first mistake. She's kind of old. Why am I even carding her to follow the rules?
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like it's like an untold rule. Like if they have gray hair, you don't need to card them, even though we're
Yeah.
supposed to card. And so I messed up. I would say that I messed up. And so I said again, ma'am, could I please see your card for the alcohol? And the second time, she was not any more happier than she was the first time, and she had a little bit of a fit. And
Oh. So
so that
she
was
went
pretty
like full.
embarrassing.
She went like full Karen mode on you. Is what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
Man.
I wouldn't say Karen mode to all the way to threatening. I would say like mid-tier Karen mode, because she she started to get a little angry, raised her voice, and thankfully like my supervisor came over quickly and calmed her down. But I don't remember if
Man.
I got actually in trouble or not. I think there's like, hey buddy, like you don't need to card everyone. Like if they're about to kick the bed,
Kick
just
the
give them.
bed.
I don't know, kick the
if they're having raging fits at night, don't worry about it. They're not stable.
what is the correct term? They're about to kick the
They're kicking the
dust. I don't know.
bucket. Yeah,
Oh,
kicking the
kick the
bucket.
bucket. Yeah,
Like,
kick the bucket. They're about to
yeah,
kick the bucket.
kicking the bed. It's just like
they bring in like an actual like twin size mattress. They're just beating it on the ground.
no, yeah, they're not even laying down. They're just standing up and just like wailing into the railing.
Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
god. Anyway,
So safe
well,
to say that I learned to be a little bit lenient on the carding rule, and that's my embarrassing story. I eventually moved departments because I did not enjoy sacking, and I went to produce. But speaking of produce, let's talk about some food we hate, because let me tell you,
oh
I like a
snap.
lot of food, but there's some things that to me are just foul. And like as a kid
Yeah.
growing up, I might have been the most picky kid in the world. Like I'm telling you, I only ate McDonald's chicken nuggets and fries. Like I literally survived on that, and then like maybe just like rice, like just white rice. So go ahead and
Wow.
tell me
Okay.
tell me some food you hate, Ian.
So there are three. There always were and always will be three.
Mm-hmm.
I try not to be picky, but you never know, right? First world problems, am I right? So the first one is tomatoes. Tomatoes, man,
Oh,
100%. Yeah,
hold
yeah.
up. Did that include ketchup?
No,
Okay.
it doesn't.
Okay.
No, it's yeah, like well, everyone. I think everyone's probably explained this at this point. Like it's like ketchup's got like vinegar and sugar and all that stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not like it's pure just like blended tomatoes. Hate it, always will. I think it's not even the taste, because there isn't much of a taste. It's just the consistency. It's just this squishy. It's like an egg. It's like an egg that hasn't been cooked all the way. That's like the consistency of it. It's awful, man. I hate it.
I understand. Because like take for instance, like I actually dislike tomatoes as well, but it's not on my list because there are some cases that tomatoes are good. But the reason why I dislike tomatoes so much is burgers. If I'm eating a good burger
Yeah,
and I bite
yeah.
into it, and like I got this gushy, nasty tomato that's ruining the rest of the burger. It's falling apart because of it. Everything's just sliding out the back. Like, get the
Right.
tomatoes out of there.
Yep. I'm with you. So and I think to preface, I think the three of the three things I'm talking about are not controversial. Like a lot of people hate these, but that's a good, because that makes me feel better. That makes me feel like I'm normal. So sauerkraut, that's my next one.
Really?
I hate sauerkraut. I hate
Dang.
it. I do not know why some German guy, I'm assuming German, was like, hey,
Correct.
let's take this vegetable,
Mhm.
drown it completely, just oversaturate this sucker with vinegar and just whatever the hell. I don't know what else they put in there, but it's the worst, man. Pretty much anything in vinegars is nasty to me. Like pickles. No, pickles are okay. They're okay, but
Pickles,
sauerkraut, man.
you can't hate on pickles because I mean, there's too many pickles to try. Like,
Yeah, I spoke too soon. Definitely spoke too soon. But like sauerkraut, bro, it's awful. And then there's this one. I only know like it makes me sound like you're gonna make fun of me for this one. That's okay. I only know the Japanese way of saying it. Natto, like the fermented soybeans, or natto.
soy boy.
Hey, no, I'm trying not to be a soy boy. That's why I don't eat them. No, I'm kidding, but
I don't think I've actually. I
disgusting.
don't even know what that is, to be honest with you.
Well, and it's not like most people I think in America eat it every day, but my family and I went to an Asian market one time. Like it was like Korean, Chinese, Japanese. I'm not
one of
saying
those
that
international like stores.
Yeah, I think it was called H Mart. It's huge. I mean, anyway, yeah. So I was like, oh, all right, let me try natto because there was like a bunch of meat stuff. There was like ramen and udon noodles and stuff like that. Like the traditional stuff you see at Japanese places. Anyway, I was like, okay, natto sounds really good. It sounds like a maybe burger or like a the equivalent of burgers or something. I don't know. I don't know what was going through my head. I sat down. It's just this goopy, slimy, like just mucus looking chunk of beans. It was disgusting.
Ooh.
And apparently they're like, oh, it's really good for your health. It's really good for your digestive tract. I'm like, yeah, because you're throwing it up. You're puking it up. Like, this is nasty. So anyway, the three of those, I mean, I think no one's gonna like really be upset if I say those are the worst, because they are. They're just it's to the point where it should be objected, in my opinion. But
okay, I had to disagree with you on the sauerkraut. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like it, just because it's got that sour tanginess. Like I think maybe you had a bad experience with what you ate it with. Like maybe you had like some nasty hot dog with sauerkraut on it. But I've had
that's what it was. That's what it was. It was a hot dog. It was like it was mostly like sauerkraut with a side of meat. It was awful.
Okay. I want you to. I know it's something that you hate. Things that you hate to eat. As this specific food, you stated hate. Hate's a pretty strong word. Like I dislike tomatoes, but hate. And I think that first experience was terrible. I can imagine you biting into this thing and being like, what did I just get? And why does this exist? Yeah. But just give it another try, because I've had sauerkraut on a burger with it was some type, I think it had Gouda cheese, and no, it was a different type of cheese. It had like cheese as well as like the normal stuff on a burger and sauerkraut, instead of the sauerkraut was the lettuce of the burger. And it was pretty smacking. I would say you should give it another shot.
Okay. I will try to be open-minded.
But the last one you said, I have no clue, and I'm not even gonna try to ever find out what it looks like, what it is, or anything. I'm just gonna stay away from it.
Maybe next time. We don't have to do it today, but maybe in another future episode we can screen share and look at some images to try for context, because it's nasty, man. It looks disgusting. It looks so gross.
Oh boy.
But all right, your turn.
Yes, sir. Okay. So I think just like you with the first time experiences, some of these go along. Same for me, and I got stories attached to them because, oh boy, they are burned into me after the experience. So
your eyes just went like dead there for a second. Like it's like you recalled just a traumatic. Anyway, go ahead.
I mean, I had a numb flashback.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So my first one is broccoli cream soup. So let that sink in. So someone was like, let's make a soup. Okay, let's put broccoli in there. not even steamed broccoli. It's just put like raw broccoli in there, and then the cream. The cream's not even a good cream. It's like it almost felt like it was a broth. It was so disgusting.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
here's how bad it was. I don't remember the first time I had it, but I remember the second time I had it. But bear in mind, the first time I had it was whenever I was very young. So I don't remember what happened, but I know I didn't like it. The second time I had it in my whole entire life, this is like this would be considered like a Greek tragedy. So whenever I was in high school, I had an ex-girlfriend that lived literally right next door to my house. Like she was the neighbor to the left. And so
that had to be a little awkward.
Interesting dynamic.
Okay, yeah,
So,
I'll let you continue. Go ahead. Yeah.
So I was going to go over for dinner one night, to like meet the family, eat some food with the parents, and she had a younger sister. And so I was like, okay. Never did I think to ask what I was going to eat there. So I get there, like, I mean, not as if I had to drive, I just like opened my door and walked to like on the sidewalk. But I get there and just talking with the girl and her sister, and then just letting the parents do some of the cooking in the kitchen. And I'm sitting there and I'm like on the couch and I'm smelling something. I'm like, this is not smelling appetizing. I'm a little worried. So
Yeah.
I ask her like, so what are we having tonight for dinner? Oh, we're having broccoli cream soup.
Mint.
And I'm like, dang, I don't know how to survive this night, because for one, I hate broccoli cream soup, and two, I need to make a good impression on the parents.
Right.
I either need to like somehow find a way to siphon the broccoli cream soup from under the table and get rid of it, or I need to like bite the bullet and eat it.
I mean,
So,
there's no. Oh man. Yeah. Okay. You're in a predicament here. It sounds like.
Yeah, I did. I mean, it was. I didn't like. Couldn't say that I didn't like it because I was freaking hungry, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to make it harder for the family because they were already ready to eat and whatnot. And so, I did it. I ate some broccoli cream soup, and oh man, I got full very fast. That I ate about 2 spoons. I was like, man, that was a big lunch today. I don't need any more food. So that's my first one, is broccoli cream soup. I don't know. Have you ever had that?
Not that specific like combo of. I mean, I've had cream, I've had soup, I've had broccoli, but I don't know if I've had all three put together. I've had broccoli and cheese and stuff like that, but I don't know if I've had. That's a very specific one. I mean, I'm sure I've had it. Like it sounds like a mix or something like that, if I had to guess. But yeah, I mean, to me it sounds good, but maybe I'm just flawed. I don't know.
For me, it's a no. So the second one, and keep in mind, we didn't put these in any particular order. So the second one is quiche. Do you know what quiche is?
Yeah, I know what quiche is. Yep.
So I actually have a problem with quiche to the point where if I smell it or I eat a bite, I almost like, if I smell it being made or if I eat a bite, I almost gag. Now let me tell you why.
Whoa. Okay.
Yes. So if you're trying to find my kryptonite or kill me, it would be quiche. But anyways, the reason is that it goes back to a story whenever I was pursuing my dream of catching a swordfish. And as you know, I'm into fishing. Oh, I forgot to mention that earlier. I'm into fishing. I really like bass fishing, but deep sea fishing was a small dream of mine. Like I wanted to catch a swordfish so bad. Like they look freaking cool. Like literally, it's an animal that has a sword attached to it and it swims underwater. Like how much cooler can you get? So I wanted to go deep sea fishing, and I got the opportunity in Boston, Massachusetts. I was there visiting MIT and also visiting the city with my dad and my dad's family.
Oh, wow.
And my stepmom booked a trip for deep sea fishing, 12-hour excursion. 12 hours. I was going to be out there fishing for the dream fish of just a bucket list item. And we have to wait, because it's 12 hours and we got to get out there. We have to wake up super early. So we have to wake up at 3 and be at the boat dock and all ready and whatnot by 4, I believe.
Okay.
These are guesstimates. I don't exactly remember what times, but I remember it was early enough to where there was nothing open, and my stepmom decided that we were going to order food beforehand. So she ordered some like breakfast food beforehand, and she had quiche. She had quiche that she had stored in the refrigerator.
Yep.
So
Okay.
I've never had, at this moment, I'd never had quiche. This was my first time experiencing it. So we're on the boat, like waiting for them to load everything, prep everything, fill up gasoline, all that stuff. And I start to get hungry. I'm like, okay, let's eat. She hands me and cuts me up a slice and hands me a cold piece of quiche, because we forgot to microwave it apparently.
Oh, okay.
I ate half of it. I didn't even eat the whole thing. I ate half of the slice of quiche I had, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. I don't even want this. I'm good. Throw it off the side of the boat. Let some fish have it. We're now ready to go out into the water. We go outside the harbor and we do a little bit of fishing. We actually like fish with baits and lures to catch the bait that we're going to use for the swordfish. So we get some like mackerel and I think some tuna next to the harbor, like outside the harbor. And then we get off into the deep waters. So we're going off in the deep waters. It was choppy. It was a choppy day. The boat was going up and down, and it actually got Karen, my stepmom, first. She threw up into she had gotten also coffee, and she had drank the coffee, and then she threw up the coffee back into the cup. And I was like, that's terrible, and holy cow, I really don't want to, like, I'm definitely afraid of throwing up. I despise throwing up so much. That's a terrible part of being a human. But anyways, I'm like, man, that can't happen. That can't happen to me. I really don't want to. And then we keep going, and we get far out, and then we're good. We're over. Interestingly enough, we were above a shipwreck. We were above a shipwreck, and we were fishing there because in that area there was like underwater sea valleys, and the swordfish would kind of commune around the shipwreck and then like go off. And we were ready to get some swordfish, but let me tell you, I had to go to the bathroom. So I was like, okay.
I thought you meant like right now.
No.
Sorry, I interrupted.
I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. So
I
decide that I'm gonna go ahead and go down below deck, and I'm gonna go to the bathroom. And so keep in mind, we're still out in the ocean. We spent at least about an hour and a half driving out into the ocean. So I'm going down below deck, and I gotta go. I don't know if this is too personal or unnecessary information, but I feel like this can convey. This is important to the story because I can't. I know this is a little gross, but I can't convey it without it. I had to go number 2, so I was sitting on the pot and trying to go to the bathroom, but the boat was rocking side to side. Now I'm on the pot and it's rocking side to side to the point where I'm hitting the walls next to me.
Oh, okay. Where's this going?
So this is this is a terrible situation. This is like not what you want whenever you're going to the bathroom. So I start to get dizzy. I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I need to throw up. So I was
Oh dear.
I was I was having a bad situation. I had to throw up the quiche and go to the bathroom at the same time, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know.
Did you just like like lift
No,
both
no, no,
up?
don't try to visualize or think about what I did. Let's just end
Oh
it
my
there,
god.
and that's why I don't like quiche, because yeah,
That's traumatic.
yep,
Oh my goodness.
that's
Oh my goodness.
it's pretty. It was a doozy. And let me tell you, afterwards, once I finished everything, and I went up, I literally sat on a cushion on top of the boat, like on the deck, and I passed out. That's how much of like a stressful situation it was. I just passed out. I was like, I my body was like, I'm done with this. This is
Oh
we're not gonna
man.
deal with this anymore. So that's the story
Man.
with quiche. The last one is not as bad. It really isn't. Goat cheese. I strongly dislike to the point of hating goat cheese, because whenever I want a cheese, I want it to taste like cheese. I want it to taste like a loaf of milk that I expect. And I went to like some expensive culinary restaurant in downtown Dallas, and I got a cheese on the side of one of my dishes, my main course,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, let's go in. This cheese it's about to clap, as the kids say these days. And I ate it
Yep.
and I hated it.
That's
Goat
fair.
cheese was not it. It was not the cheese I wanted. It was not the cheese I needed, and it was not the cheese I'm gonna eat again. So that's a
Uh,
food that I hate. And as you can see, I've
yeah, I mean,
some
I
things with food.
that swordfish story took the cake though. I mean, above everything else. I mean, that's serious, man. Well, on that note, do you want to continue on with
Well,
some? Okay, okay.
just for anybody listening that is planning on going on a deep sea fishing trip, or even going out on a boat in the ocean, with any type of measure, from just still water to choppy waves, if you ever need to kind of get rid of motion sickness or prevent it, what you should do is you should take your shoes off and have your feet touching the deck floor. I don't know why it works. I don't know the science behind it, but after I woke
Hmm.
up from the mishap, that's what they told me to do, and it changed the whole
Oh,
entire trip. It like
I've never heard of that. Okay.
Yeah, it worked. I'm telling you, you should definitely do that. That's just a pro
Wow.
tip for you, for anybody wanting to
Oh,
go deep sea fishing.
pro tip for me. I didn't even know that. That's cool.
But anyways, Ian, this is a little bit more of a personal question. Tell
Okay.
me
All right. I'm
some of
all
your
for it.
role models and kind of like inspirations. Like, who do you look up to? And tell me just a little synopsis of why.
Yeah. So, I think as I've, gotten a little older, it's hard to keep your role models a role model, if that makes sense, because you find out more about them. So I was struggling to find people who, I thought were genuinely like world changing people, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, because people you grew up with are different in terms of like role models and who you look up to now, I guess. Anyway, um, this will like show my more, I guess, American side, I guess. You know who Sam Walton is, right?
That I think I've heard the name, but I don't know
Yeah.
who he is.
So he's passed since, but he was the founder and owner of Walmart forever. And you're thinking,
Oh
okay,
yes, yes.
Walmart. You're thinking, okay, what Walmart? What the man's work ethic and like quotes
Hmm.
are, I mean, they're some of the best motivations for you to get off your butt out of bed and just start working, because this guy came from nothing. I mean, the typical like rags to riches kind of story, like very low income household, like had a bunch of siblings, and he built like one of the biggest corporate empires ever,
It
before he
is the
died.
biggest, actually.
Is it one of the biggest grocery store
It's the
company.
biggest grocery store supply chain as well as the biggest corporation. I think Amazon is becoming like is going to make Walmart the runner up in a couple of years. But as far as I know, it is the biggest corporation.
Yeah, and that makes that I'm not surprised. But Sam Walton like basically revolutionized, of course, the supermarket idea. It wasn't him, like he wasn't the one who came up with the idea, but he marketed it for the masses. I mean, but from what I understand, on a personal level, this is kind of why I included him in there. He was caring. He actually cared about the employees and didn't see them as like a rotating like turnover. Like he didn't see them just as numbers,
like a cog in the machine.
Yeah, and I know it's hard to do that at obviously it's Walmart, right? It's hard to visualize that now, but apparently he really tried to focus on that. And but above anything, he was so wise. I mean, in terms of how he saw the world and how he could make something of himself in that world. I should have included a couple more quotes, but I really do look up to him just for his work ethic alone. I mean, and he didn't, and like I said, he seemed like a genuinely decent person, which is kind of rare in my opinion to find in that level. It's not always easy to find, but so I'm looking at my list. So the other two are musicians.
Oh wait, 1 second. I have a little interesting tidbit. So I actually, whenever I was in high school, I did like a summer camp at a university in Arkansas. And I don't know if you know, but Walmart's originally from Arkansas.
Yeah.
And so I visited the museum of the first Walmart, and then I got to go in and tour Walmart distribution center there. And let me tell you, it was incredible. The automation, machinery, and sensors, it was it was just incredible the amount of coordination that happens to supply these stores. So I definitely enjoy the fruits of Walmart. And
and I know obviously there's all the stereotypes of Walmart, and I mean I'm not ignorant about that. Trust me,
have you seen the memes where it's like Walmart at 4 p.m. on a Tuesday, Walmart at 2 a.m. on a Wednesday? It's like these crazy images, but
oh my god. Yeah,
between your standard just businessmen walking in to get some products, and then some I don't even know. I don't even know how to say this.
A creature.
Yes, a creature trying to just walking in to get something that no human needs at that time.
Right. No, I'm with you. I'm definitely more talking about the company side of things than the people, because Lord knows. So the other two I put in there were Bob Dylan and Kanye West.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean those two are poets. I mean that's just they're poets. I don't know how else to summarize that in one word. I mean, I'm not gonna say all of Bob Dylan's songs were just life changing or world changing, especially later on. But the first couple of albums he came out with in the 60s were extremely thought provoking in terms of obviously the Vietnam War and that era, but the ability for him. I think he was like 21 when he wrote his first album.
Dang.
Which is I think pretty young for that level of success, right? Anyway,
I don't know, man. If you think about it, Billie Eilish was like what, 19?
Did you say eyelash? Did you say eyelash?
Well, I don't know how to say your last name, to be honest with you, and I don't care enough to try. But
William Theodore Eyelash.
Shoot, no, I'm not hating on her so much as to say that it's interesting to see different forms of success at time periods. But anyway, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead to 21. Yeah. First album, 21.
He wrote most of his the lyrics to his songs and composed it
Hmm.
all. And a lot of it was really profound. It just talked about the human condition. I'd recommend anybody go see it, or I'm sorry, listen to it. I need to look up the first, because I listened to mostly like singles from him, but the first two albums he came out with were phenomenal.
Hmm.
And then of course Kanye. I mean, it's hard not to talk about Kanye in terms of like someone who's inspirational in various ways. I'm not saying he's always the most normal, level-headed person on the planet, but he's I don't know, man. He's up there in terms of
He's
just
doing things.
he's doing things. I can't hate. I mean, I will never hate on him in terms of like his work ethic and music. It's it's on another world, man. It's on another plane. So I put him in there because I mean, I don't know about you, but I grew up with him. He was like Kanye was my first like introduction to hip hop, like growing up, like period. I didn't even listen to Eminem before Kanye. Like I listened to which is
Dang.
rare, which is rare. I'm
Yeah,
just saying, like
yeah.
but yeah, like I think it goes without saying, what Kanye brought to the table for music. So I
I got
had
a
to put him in
question.
there, man. Yeah.
So if I remember correctly, is Bob Dylan the artist that released the song "A Boy Named Sue"?
No, that's I think it's Johnny Cash.
Oh dang it! See, I I really like Johnny Cash's style of storytelling. Was Bob Dylan was he into that?
Oh yeah. Blowing in the Wind. That's the one that always comes to my head. Of course, Mr. Tambourine Man.
Hmm.
Like a Rolling Stone was, I think, one of his most popular songs ever.
Do
Like
you know
that
that's where the
that
Rolling Stones got their name?
I believe it. I believe it. Yeah. So the Freewheelin' Bob Dylan is the
Mhm.
album that I listen to a lot. And there's one called, I think, Highway 61. But I haven't really listened to a lot of his other later works, but those two albums alone just like blew my mind as a youngin. So I'd highly recommend anyone listen to Bob Dylan if they haven't already. Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna have to listen to him myself. I don't actually think that I've heard like some of the top songs that you mentioned, but never fully listened to an album. So I'll definitely check that out.
yeah.
So let me
All
go
right,
ahead
so
and tell you my role model slash inspirations.
go for it.
So I software engineering, computer science. Like I got to go ahead and say Steve Jobs. Now I would say all of my role models are a little bit on the edge. Like they've done some good things, some questionable things, not necessarily some like bad things. But I think that's important as a role model because like they're humans and they're gonna make mistakes or they're gonna do things that are accidental. But in whole summation, they made a very impactful difference. So
Yeah.
I gotta say, Steve Jobs, wow. Like I like just think about like 100 years from now. I truly believe that whenever he introduced the iPhone, that's going to be in the history books. Like that's going to be a actual event, a turn of the century event that's going to be written
Yeah.
down. And
I
I
believe that.
mean, he's done incredible things. Like Apple now, $1 trillion company, and wow, it, it's pretty amazing to see also just their business strategy. Although like you can hate on and certainly I do. You can hate on their choices of like switching out the cords every year, all their
Yeah.
BS platform problems and support and all that, but they're doing things and Apple, like shout out to Apple. Like I'm currently like repping a MacBook Pro and iPhone, and I got to tell you, great products, and thank you, Steve Jobs. And I mean, I truly want to make a difference in the world like Steve Jobs did, and that's why he's a role model and inspiration for me. And then tag teaming with Steve Jobs, I gotta say, Elon Musk. What a guy.
Oh yeah,
What a
you
guy.
on the Elon train?
I'll tell you, I am a Tesla fanboy and an Apple fanatic, I believe. Like
Well, you're not alone.
no, but for real, like Elon Musk, I've listened to his speeches and like learned about his companies and what he's done, and it's incredible. Like PayPal, SpaceX, Tesla. It's not that he like I'm giving him all the credit. It's that he was able to coordinate and bring together such a powerful group of people. Powerful not in terms of wealth or nobility, but powerful in terms of knowledge and experience to do things that are unheard of. Like we can now be a multi-planetary species more easily because of Elon Musk. We now can have a greener future through electric cars because of Elon Musk. Like he has paved the way for such ingenuity. And I one of the things I really like is I listened to an interview where he was describing a tough decision with SpaceX where the company was failing, like it was not able to land the rocket. He was talking about with PayPal and SpaceX. No, actually, I'm sorry. I think it was SpaceX and Tesla. He said that he was either going to have to put all of the rest of his money into one of these companies and have the other one fail, or divide the money into both of these companies and watch them both fail. And he made the tough decision. He did the things that people wouldn't, and he got that rocket to land a third time. And like he literally said, like like he could not find a rocket engineer. Like none of the good rocket engineers would come to his company, and there was no point in hiring the bad ones. So he became the rocket engineer for SpaceX, and he got that third rocket to land like in the movies. Like he got that thing to land itself. It was just insane that someone can be so devoted to an idea to will something into reality. And I mean that's beautiful. I really do believe that's beautiful. So shout out to Elon Musk. I hope one day we can have him on the podcast. Be amazing. And my last one's also going to be Kanye West. I mean, talk about avant-garde music. Talk about talk about records making earthquake-shattering changes to the music industry, and then talk about like he's a billionaire. I mean, what more do I gotta say? But I will say a little more. He's not a billionaire because he did things that's about fame. He did these things because he's all about the art. Like he said one time, if you're a fan of Kanye, you're a fan of yourself, because at the end of the day, it's all about self-empowerment and like bringing yourself up out of the sunken place. So I mean, I really like Kanye West despite his controversial comments. And if you really look at it, I mean, I understand you can take a soundbite, you can pick up some words out of context, and you can run a news story, get some money, and put him down in character, but he's got the right heart. I mean, just like look at Donda. Like he has the younger generations talking about Jesus, rapping about Jesus, influencing the culture. So I mean, props to him too. So that's my role models and inspirations.
That is a good list, my dude. That is a good list. All right. Well, I think that pretty much wraps up everything you would ever want to know about us in a nutshell. So let's see. What do we want to discuss now? Do we want to move into more current events, or do we want to what's the plan?
Well, let me tell you, I got some games for you.
All right. Let's hear it.
So we're gonna do some would you rather's. Just like now that you know about us, but let's see some decision making
Oh
skills.
Lord,
Okay,
I'm scared. All right, go for
so
it.
I'll go first, and we'll alternate. You'll ask me after this one. So, would you rather be able to speak any language or be able to communicate with animals?
Oh, like speak any language. I mean,
Really?
yeah, dude. Okay, so there's the okay. You assume that animals are smart. Like well, a lot of animals have the ability to feel. You know, the ability to have emotion. We
Mm-hmm.
know that now. But I would much rather be able to go anywhere, you know, in my own species and talk to anybody. Like that, you know, it's hard enough going to a foreign country and learning about, you know, the little things in a culture, right, to try to fit in. But
Mm-hmm.
if you can't speak the language, I mean, you're almost guaranteed not to fit in. So I would definitely want to speak a different language, 100%.
Oh, and you can speak any language, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
understand. I understand where you're coming from. Funny enough, I have this personal experience of what you just talked about, as I am in France and
yeah,
among
exactly.
French-speaking people. I am learning French. Bonjour,
Yeah.
je m'appelle Alex. But I gotta tell you, it's hard to engage in the culture and express yourself and who you are without that language aspect. Like, I can
Oh
draw a
yeah.
picture, or I can try to use some, I don't know, sign language or like different hand gestures. But if I can't speak to them, then it's communications very subpar. So I understand you picking any language, but for me, dude, I want to communicate with animals. Like I understand. I think you have a good point. They might be like literally stupid. Like if I talk
Yeah,
to an
that's
ant,
my thing. Like
if I
I'm
talk
like,
to an ant and he's like, get the queen food, get the queen food, like that's all that's
uh,
going on in his head. But
like
I
imagine
just
like
think it would
what
be
a
so interesting.
like imagine what like a freaking one of those like sea cucumbers he would just like dump dump like because that's all they do. It's just like they ingest a bunch of crap from the ocean. So I like that'd be a waste of my time.
Okay,
And not
okay.
only yeah, I don't know.
You're
Not
thinking
only
of
that,
you're thinking about the worst case scenarios. Okay. Listen, what if you could be like, you could just be sitting on a park bench and a pigeon like comes down, and you're like, hey man, can you go like get me, can you steal that one, this is terrible, can you go steal that woman's credit card?
so, so what you're saying is you would use it only to make other people's lives miserable.
No, I'm just saying like that, like you got to think of the range of opportunities. Like, not only can you speak with it, but you can like
Yeah.
interact and do things like you could, you could sell that. Like, you could be
Okay.
like, hey, do you want to know what your dog's thinking today? How's it feeling? What's going on? Like, there's so many aspects to communicating with animals that I think would be helpful. Like, especially whenever you get like to the ocean. Like, bro,
Yeah.
what if you could be like, you could just be on a boat and be like, hey, help me find some treasure. Like,
I say it in that voice too. Like, hey, it's like just monotone.
but you get what I'm
But
saying. So
no,
that's
I
my
know, I
personal,
get
that's
that.
just my personal opinion. But
No,
good
I'm with you.
choices.
I'm with you. All right, so I got one for you. I got one for you.
Mhm.
All right. Would you? This sounds simple. It sounds simple as a preface, but would you rather lose taste or lose hearing?
Oh, that's terrible because I like music as sound therapy, as production. I like also watching, like, hearing is kind of a big part of my life. But
Yeah,
taste,
yeah.
taste trumps that. Like, I, I got a taste. I would be no hearing because like I I've
I'm
heard
with.
people like with COVID having no taste for 6 months. Like, I've heard about that.
Yeah, I
And if I
have
had
too.
no taste
Yeah.
for 6 months, dude, I would hate my life. Like, food is such an important part of my life. I would hate just even waking up. And You know,
Yeah.
interestingly enough, like in the International Space Station, like whenever they send astronauts up, do you know what they like? Do you know that the International Space Station has the most diverse amount of like hot sauces? Like they have hot sauces from every country. It's always stocked with hot sauce. Did you know about that?
No.
You want to know why?
I did not know that. No. Yeah. I mean, I do. What is it?
Space food is dull, and they want to taste something.
Oh, I can believe that. Yeah, I can believe that.
But yeah, I'm gonna
That's
have to go with
interesting.
taste. I want taste. I don't want no hearing.
I don't want no hearing. I want everything in my mouth. I want it all.
So
Oh man.
what before I go on, which one would you pick?
Oh, I'm with you. No, 100%. I would
All right, all
rather
right.
taste. Yeah, there's so much variety with what you can taste. I mean, I'd rather I'd rather hear people also. I mean, I wouldn't want to lose either of them. Duh. That's the whole point of the question. But I there's so much variety with taste. Yeah, I'd stick with taste.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Would you rather be able to swim underwater indefinitely as if you had like gills, or fly in the air as if you had wings?
Oh. Ooh. Do you have the how fast can you go when you fly? How fast can you like actually go? That
As
would be
fast as you can
my.
flap your wings.
Oh, I don't know. So like,
At least 1 mile an hour.
oh god, that sucks. It sucks. I'm saying that because people might want to shoot you down. Like if you're flying over their
Oh
house,
shoot! Like skeet shoot you in the air, like
like yeah, or like some redneck comes out and is like, God dang it, Beatrice is flying kids at it again. He just, like I don't know. Like I think I'd rather go underwater because like at least yeah, there's sharks and squid and blah blah blah, but I probably wouldn't go down that far anyway. I just want to like tread water and just like go under the surface and just like with the coral reefs and stuff. Like
Mhm.
I'm not gonna go deep sea. Why would I? I would. Plus the pressure would crush me. So
True, true.
yeah, no,
I
I'd pick under the
I agree with
water.
you. I agree with
I
you on
don't
the underwater.
I don't want no Bubba and Beatrice like skeet shooting me.
Bro, I just imagine like getting bird shot while you're just trying to like travel to the grocery store.
Yeah, it's like it's like clear. It's like no, it's not for me.
All
But
right, hit me.
all right, I got one more for you. How's that?
All right.
Because I know you got another game in store, so I'm curious how this one goes. The next one. Okay. Would you rather only watch your favorite TV series 100 times,
Ooh.
or would you rather watch 100 random shows in the same time frame? So we're talking like a week. I don't know. However long it takes to watch your
Mhm.
favorite TV, however long it takes to watch an average TV series 100 times. So
Okay.
yeah,
That I feel like for me that's an easy one because I don't like to branch out and waste my time with TV. And I've seen some terrible shows on TV, like not terrible as in like evil or gross, but just like badly produced, boring, and
yep.
just unrealistic. And like imagine if I had to watch a random show that was like a reality TV show or some type of like old show. Like no offense to I Love Lucy, but I'm not interested in watching that for 100 hours. So
Yeah.
I would say I would definitely say my favorite TV show. Now, to tell you my favorite TV show, no, it's not the obvious, no basic stuff like that here. But I I'd have to say Arrested Development would be like I'd say that would be my favorite TV
Yeah.
show to watch 100 hours. That show ridiculously good.
I figured you'd say that, which it is a good show. It's a very good show. So I'm not docking you at all. Okay. Well, that was quicker than I thought because I thought you'd be like, oh, I get tired of it. So I like that answer. I like that answer. I think
How
I'd
about
go
you?
with you too. No,
Oh,
I
really?
think I'd go with you too. Well, because it's safe. You know what you're
Hmm.
getting yourself into. If you're forced to watch it, like if someone has a gun to your head, I'd rather just stick with what I know, even if
What
it's
show?
not funny. Breaking
Grey's
Bad is way up.
Anatomy.
No, no, Breaking Bad is way up there. I mean,
Mm.
it's that show's practically flawless. I mean, um, probably Breaking Bad.
All
If
right,
I
all
had
right,
to,
not bad, not
yeah,
bad. All
yeah.
right,
So,
I'm gonna hit you with kind of a silly one. All right, a little silly one. Would you
okay.
rather spend the weekend with a group of pirates or ninjas?
Are they both? Am I guaranteed that they don't want to kill me?
Oh no, yeah, you're safe and everything. Like you'll be like
Oh, okay.
their comrade, and it will be like as if you were in the same, like not as if you're not time travel, but you'll be in the same situation. Like if you were with the pirates, you'd be on a boat in the sea, like doing pirate
Hmm.
things. And if you were a ninja, you'd be in an Asian continent doing what ninjas do, which
An Asian, unnamed Asian area. I think pirates. I think I'd do pirates. I mean, it'd be so much more fun. Everyone would be like loud and obnoxious, but at least you're entertained. Like I wouldn't have to
Mhm.
do any of the work. With ninjas, like, can you imagine how awkward a conversation it would be to strike up with someone who's like trained to be silent? Like, no, I'd rather go out with the boys, have some sea shanties.
Absolutely. I agree with
Yeah,
that. Like imagine
yeah,
if you were at the dojo and you're just like looking at this ninja and the ninja's just like staring blankly at you and you're like, hey, you
yeah,
come here often?
yeah,
And it just doesn't respond to you.
yeah. No, no, that's an easy one for me. Like, definitely pirates, 100%.
All right. Next game. So two truths and one lie.
All right, I'll start this time if you want.
Let's go.
All right. So, I met Kanye on a plane. I was in a hip hop dance battle. Yeah, me. I know, of all people.
Whoa, hold up. Dance
Yeah,
battle.
yeah, yeah. No, hold on. It could be a lie. I brought
Hmm.
I brought a CRT monitor to college. All right, which one is it?
Uh-huh. And CRT, if I remember, what does it stand for? Cathode ray
It's
translucent or whatever.
so when you were
Cathode ray
when
tube.
yeah, like when you were little, did your parents ever have those fat TVs, like the really fat ones?
Yep. All right, I
Yeah,
know
so
it is now.
it's that, but it was it allegedly could have been my grandpa's monitor that he had from the 90s.
Sounds like you just
So
confirmed it for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that that's a truth. But
uh,
I'm gonna
I'm bad at this
say that
game.
the lie is you make Kanye on your plane because you would have told me. You would have said something.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that's fair. Yeah, I was in a hip hop dance battle though. We had a orientation in school, and I was on a stage with a bunch of people, like in a dance off. I'm not even kidding.
Dang. You know what?
Yeah.
We got to find some footage of this one day. We're gonna have to
Oh
go
no,
deep into the archives.
deep into the matrix. Now, but I thought I actually did okay. But keep in mind, there's a bunch of like awkward, you know. I mean, no, some of them are actually pretty good, but it was fun though. I liked it, believe it or not.
I I
I,
I learned something new today about you and
about you, boy.
exactly. And I'm gonna go ahead and say mine. So this one, just to prep some people, any vegetarians or animal lovers, I'm sorry about what I'm gonna say. So two truths and one lie. I have ate guinea pigs as a food before. I did
Okay,
football. I played football as a kid. Okay. And I did not know the months of the year until I was in high school.
high school. Okay, I really
Yep.
hope that one's a lie. I really hope that one's a lie.
Are you
Like,
saying it's that one?
guinea pig one sounds like too specific. I mean, what did you do at Christmas? You're like, Yeah, man, this month, the 25th of, I'm not. I mean, I feel bad if it's actually a truth because you know, I'm gonna say the guinea pigs one is. No, I'm gonna say the month one is the lie.
Final answer?
Yeah, final answer. Is that
All
a
right.
truth?
So I have had guinea pigs as a food before.
Wow. Okay.
I did not play football as a kid, and I did not
Oh
know the
man.
months of the year until I was in high school.
Is there a reason?
Um, so the reason is like as a kid, for some reason, I didn't want to learn things, and I didn't want to learn things that were like kind of useless to me. Now you're thinking like
Hmm.
Alex, like yo, months of the year kind of important, like date and time, but there was always like a calendar or like and like at the time phones or some type of technology that was accessible and available to me to just be like, oh, it's August or oh, it's.
That's
I
fair.
never
No, that's
really
fair.
learned like the like I never knew like whether like January was like I obviously I knew January was the first month of the year, but I never knew I couldn't say the months of the year. Like I didn't know
Yeah.
them in any distinct order or I didn't memorize them as well.
Right. Okay. No, I get that. I kind of get that now that you say it. Like, I would not be surprised if kids like growing up now don't really understand handwriting
Mhm.
anymore. Just because we all type it or text, or uh,
Emojis.
yeah, like so that actually kind of makes sense. Just yeah, I'm actually not surprised now that you kind of explained it. So there you go. Huh. All right. Well, I got one more for you. All right.
Mhm.
Let's see. I met a current astronaut. I slept through a flight at the airport. I was a
Oh
vlogger.
shoot, that's terrible.
Yeah. And the last one was I was a blogger, if you didn't catch it.
Oh, sorry, I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
I feel like you've met an astronaut, and I think you have. I think you have slept through a flight.
Hmm.
I don't think you've been. You've had a vlogging phase.
I was a
Vlogging phase
YouTuber.
is the lie.
I was a YouTuber, but yeah. I was never a daily vlogger. I did a little vlogging when I was in it was like around the PewDiePie era, like the PewDiePie
Mhm.
Tobuscus era. Like I really wanted to be like them. So I was a vlogger for a little bit, but not a daily vlogger. So technically that's a lie. So yeah,
Mhm.
for work, I think was it last year? No, the year before last. I did sleep through a connecting flight. I
Jeez.
was passed out for a couple hours, and so I was like, no, that was embarrassing. Thankfully, I found a flight back home, but oh god, that was not fun. I was just chilling on I don't think I was even
That's gonna be
about
so
to board.
embarrassing to walk up to the flight attendant and be like, "Hey,
Yo,
this flight here, I missed it. Yeah, no particular reason. Can you
yeah,
get me
yeah,
home, please?"
yeah. It was not a good time.
Curiosity, which astronaut did you meet?
I I don't remember his name.
Oh man, dang, he must have
I
not
should
been
have.
important.
Well, so it's the new set of astronauts that are supposed to go up to the moon, someday, at NASA. I don't remember. I should have put that down. That's embarrassing. I should have actually put that down because very nice guy, very nice. Um, wow. Now that I look back on typing that out, yeah. Anyway.
I got a little fun fact.
All right.
I've met Buzz Aldrin and Charlie Duke and some other astronauts that I do not remember the names as well. But I've met a
Oh,
I went to an event for Apollo 11 anniversary, and
yeah.
I met a bunch of them and I got some pictures with them and stuff.
That's
But
awesome. That's so cool.
let me hit you with my last two truths and one lie. So
Okay.
in soccer, I played soccer as a kid. Uh, I have scored a game-winning goal. Okay. I've
Okay.
spoken with the owner of Chick-fil-A. Like I've met and spoken with him. His name's Dan Cathy.
Okay.
And I have been to Dubai.
So I'm kind of cheating a little bit because I know that you met Dan Kathy. I
Oh
know that you
shoot, I
met.
should have said nothing about it. Dang it.
Yeah, I'm cheating a little bit.
I'm too proud of that. I'm sorry. Sorry
Um,
for the
I don't think you've been.
discrepancy.
I know you've traveled a decent amount. I don't think you've been to Dubai though. I can believe that you scored a winning goal. So yeah, the Dubai one. Dubai one's alive.
So, unfortunately, you are wrong. I
Okay.
have never
Wow.
scored a game-winning goal in soccer, even though
Ouch.
played plenty of years. I never had the makings of varsity athlete. But
Ah.
as you know, I have spoken with the owner of Chick-fil-A. I
Yep.
was in Atlanta, and we were. I think it was the Rose Bowl, if I believe.
Okay.
OU was facing Alabama for the I think it was the bowl game, so like the championship game, and we were at like this little event on the side called FanFest, and Chick-fil-A was hosting it. And so we were just walking around with my dad, and it was me and my dad, and my dad stops me. He was like, "Alex, go over there. Go talk to that guy. Go. I'll take a picture." And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"What?" It looked like just some random old guy. And
Yeah.
my dad was like, "Alex, just come with me then. Come with me." And we walk up, and he starts talking. And goes, "Are you Dan Cathy?" And he was like, "Oh yes, sir, I am. Yeah." And really nice guy, super genuine and everything, and very approachable, surprisingly approachable. Like he didn't. I thought he would have had like bodyguards or something like that, security guards. He was
Yeah.
just walking
Yeah.
around enjoying the event that he was hosting, and got to
Mm-hmm.
talk with him. And I got to take a picture with him, and he even gave me. You know how like if you go to some events or if they give you your order wrong, sometimes you'll get like a free Chick-fil-A card thing, like a
Yep.
plastic card that
Yep.
you can use. He gave me his, like not his like personal one, but like he gave me one. And on the back of it, it has his name, like from Dan Cathy. And I was really hoping whenever I got, I was like, what if this is a magical one that I can get like unlimited amounts of Chick-fil-A sandwiches, but it was only for one. And I kept it. I'm not even going to use it because it's like it's memorable to me. And sadly enough,
Yeah.
we lost that game, and we lost bad. Alabama clapped us. You know the worst part about that is Alabama has a really good coordinated like fan um, events where if they like score a touchdown, like you'll hear "Roll Tide," like all of them at once will say it.
Yeah. Nah.
And bro, it felt like they would get a goal again and again, like or not a goal, sorry, a touchdown again and again, and it felt like we were just getting slapped in the face. So the best part of that trip and experience was meeting Dan Cathy, not the game
I
itself.
bet.
And then
Cool, man.
with Dubai, I have been to Dubai. I had to connect in the Dubai airport to get to Nepal, but
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay.
but it was really sad. We were I wanted to go I don't know if you noticed, but they have a mall near the bottom of the Burj Khalifa that has an indoor
Hmm.
ski mountain and resort inside a mall.
In the
Like
desert?
like they have fake
Man.
snow and everything, and I really wanted to go to that.
Wow.
I was like, I want to see the Burj Khalifa and I want to ski inside a mall.
I
And so
would. Yeah.
we tried. We were gonna have our flight in 8 hours. I'm like, that's cake. We were gonna have enough time. But our I was on a mission trip. I should preface, but our mission trip leader was like, we got to be careful. Like what happens if the buses are not like working in time? Like he was just worried about anything going wrong. So we didn't go. Turns out our flight got delayed twice, got canceled. So then we ended up spending the night in the Dubai airport. So we spent like something around 10 to 12 hours in the Dubai airport.
Oh
Didn't leave
man.
it, didn't get to experience anything in Dubai. I was very sad. But the trip, once we
Hey,
got to Nepal, incredible, amazing. But I have been to Dubai. I have not left the Dubai airport.
okay, so technically you've been to Dubai. Okay, I got you. Because I was like, I know I would have heard that from you if you had like mentioned
I
it.
would have
But
bragged
okay,
about it.
yeah, no, I mean, why wouldn't you? Yeah, that makes sense. Cool,
What's the
cool,
next game?
man. All right, so I'm looking forward to this next one because it's simple, but it's it can ruffle some feathers. So where the game is called Division Topics. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially all it is do you like A or B? So the one, we're both from Texas, man. So I'm gonna ask you this one. I didn't come up with a couple others because this one I think this one will like
Oh boy.
spark some maybe not, maybe you don't care. But do you prefer a truck or a car? Do you prefer a truck or a car?
I've had both. As you know, I had
Yeah.
an F-150, Ford F-150, and I've had a
Right.
Toyota Camry as well as a Mazda.
Yep.
I gotta say, coming from Texas, I got loyalties to the truck, but overall, car is better.
Okay. I would agree only if I didn't like trucks so much. I do like trucks. I like trucks a lot. I really enjoy the idea of just being able to haul what you need and not be worried about cargo space. Yeah, I
Have
know.
you considered a van?
And I knew that, or SUV. Yeah, that's true. However, you don't look good riding
That's
in a
true.
minivan unless you're like a drug dealer. But that's different. That's a different story. No, I think I'd go with the truck, to be honest. So maybe it wasn't that controversial because go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I feel like you would, as coming from a truck owner, I feel like you would have liked the truck until you had to fill it up with gas.
Oh, well, especially right now, as of this, recording, like gas is climbing. So yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. I have to take that into consideration. But yeah, that okay. Well, maybe it's not as controversial as I thought because we're like, yeah. I mean, I see both points. Well, I see good sides. I see good sides to both.
No, you're good. And in my experience, also, I do have to say I haven't had the best truck. Ford F-150, like bare bones entry level truck. Like the thing's basically plastic with a couple of pieces of metal and an engine that hasn't been innovated in probably 30 years, slapped in together. But I can imagine. Funny enough, my mama, so in other words, my grandma on my mom's side has a Ram 1500, and let me tell you, trucks, they're getting nice. Like they got the utilities, they got all, like, I would like to have a utility truck, as you mentioned, just for hauling stuff and like maintenance work and whatnot. But the truck I had, no good. Anyways,
that's fair. No, that's fair.
I'll hit you with a question. Now this one's a classic, an old but true one. Hawaiian pizza, should it exist?
Oh.
Yes or no?
Oh, okay. Oh well, everyone has their opinion on pineapple pizza, so I would say let it be because okay, the caveat is can I get rid of the pineapple?
No, you have to digest it.
Oh well, okay, that's rude. Okay. I hate pineapple. I mean, I'm not a fan of pineapple on pizza. So I don't know. I mean, I'd keep it around because I'm sure some people like it. I mean, everyone hates on it, but I'm sure some people like it.
Okay, hold up. Now, you didn't expect this, but there's a second part to this question. If you would let it exist, would you, now that you've said that, the question has morphed into Hawaiian pizza or no pizza. So you have to choose for the people whether you would subject them to Hawaiian pizza and allow a pizza, or just blank the pizza out from every single menu.
That's too much power. God, probably no pizza.
Dang,
I mean,
really?
well, if you can't get rid of the pineapple at all, if
Hmm.
you can't remove it, like if you're forced somehow by some like evil dictatorship to like consume everything in there, because it'll ruin the taste, in my opinion, if you have fruit on the pizza. So yeah, no, I'd rather have no pizza. If it's like cut and dry, no exceptions, no caveats, no pizza. No way.
So I've had Hawaiian pizza in Hawaii. Unfortunately, at least in my experience, it's no better. Like it doesn't taste any
Yeah.
better. Um, I
Yeah.
I think I would say Hawaiian pizza just to have it exist. Like, hey, do I want to suffer but still think that I'm enjoying it because it's pizza once in a while?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you. No, I just no pizza. No pizza. um, cool. Well, I would suggest now that hopefully this is a recurring theme, but I think we both decided that we gotta stay up with current topical events, right? We gotta we
Hmm.
gotta stay relevant, make the YouTube algorithm happy, and you guys. So, but at the same time, we don't want to be too political or too controversial all the time. We want to have fun. So I think
Hold up,
we
hold
need
up.
to talk.
I just want to say, uh,
But
before we go any further, screw the YouTube algorithm. We're not worried about that.
that's fair. That's fair. Wait, that is fair.
We're not gonna cheat the system. We're gonna go
We're
into
gonna
the belly
feed
of
the
the
system.
beast, and we're gonna become
We're
the
gonna feed the
system.
system. That's fair.
But anyways, sorry to cut it in. I just I had to make a correction because you know we, we're we're here for the people. We're not gonna let that mindset come in here.
I think you mean the grind set, sir.
Oh, the Sigma male grind set.
The Sigma male grind set. Anyway, so yeah, so let's move on to a current event. And you did the research on this one this week.
Correct. So
So
this week,
I
current event. Would you like me to introduce the headline of this event?
insert an effect here. No, I don't know, but we probably won't. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
we'll get the editor to do it. He's gonna do it. The editor is us. But
Right.
anyways, back to the topic at hand. So, runaway trash can floats to South Carolina from Ireland. Let that set in for a
What a
minute.
story.
Let that sink in. Let that sink in.
A runaway trash
Okay.
can. So, full confession, I have not. I've read the headline. I've read the article, but I did not see a picture. I did not see pictures.
Okay. Let me tell you, it's not what you're thinking when I say trash can. You're thinking like house style, like where you pull out the liner and you bring it to the edge of the curb and whatnot, or a trash
Well,
can. Maybe you're thinking the one that sits out on the street. No, this is a barrel that whenever you see like crude oil, or you think of like radioactive material where it gets put in. It's a metal barrel, and plastered on the side of it is some company information as well as like warning, disposal, waste, and the picture. It from its journey, it has gotten like barnacles and like actual living ocean organisms growing on the barrel. That's how long it's been in the ocean, traveling from Ireland to South Carolina. So
long
that's a little
time.
description for all the people hearing, and for our co-host Ian. Does that change your perspective
Yeah.
at all about this story?
That sucker had to be floating there forever. I mean, months and months, if not years. Yeah. I mean, that's crazy. Yeah. Like I said, I had not seen pictures. I just read the article, but that's crazy.
Tell us your thoughts and opinions about this runaway trash can. I mean, the thing floated from
Mm.
another continent. How do you feel about that?
Well, the problem is, I mean, an American barrel. I mean, in and of itself, that's a problem. I wonder. I wonder if when they found the barrel, I wonder if they hadn't like claimed taxes on it. like the company. So like they're like, crap, like after all that time they're getting fined for having an import.
The
Technically,
IRS is like sending a letter to the collections department of
yeah, yeah.
Ireland.
It's like they're like, oh, we're sorry about that, bud. And it's like, and all it is like this mom and pop shop who just had like some shrimp. You know,
Dang.
it's like it wasn't a big corporation or anything. It was just like a little bitty shop, and they just had some barrels out for shrimp for their loyal customers that,
Mhm.
and they're just getting taxed to death because they shipped a barrel overseas. So
So, whenever I first heard about this article, I thought that it was like one of those stories where like some kid throws an emptied wine bottle with like a message in it, and it ends up in like Malaysia or something crazy. Like it
yeah,
washes up on the shore. Like I've heard of stories
heard of
where
those.
like and like 125-year-old Coke bottle with a message in it washes ashore, and I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. Like it actually went from like Ireland to South Carolina, and I was like, wait a minute, this thing was definitely on a shipping container ship or like some type of transport ship and fell off. And then I was thinking like, I wonder how much stuff gets like stuck in the ocean. And I don't know if you got to look into this. I added another article to look into this, an extended current event. Increasingly every year, more and more shipping containers are getting lost at sea. And keep in mind, these shipping containers can vary from a couple of like products such as PS5s all the way to multi-million dollar cars being inside them. So it's pretty interesting. The last statistic that was available, I think, was 2019, and it was up to 1,000. It was the baseline was 1,000 containers were found.
Wow, wow, man. Okay, that's crazy. That is some serious negligence on whoever's counting up that inventory.
Can you imagine how much it
Wow.
must suck if you were like on the shipping container, and like on the bridge, as they call it. It's just like the central area where you control the ship, and it's basically the equivalent of a cockpit and a fighter jet. You're in the bridge, and you're just relaxing, checking the maps, everything. You just see a freaking shipping container just flop off the side. You're like, well, crap. Guess we got to
On
deal with
fire.
that later.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's crazy. Oh man. Well,
To
uh,
bridge, sorry, not bridge. To complete the connection, it is supposed that this trash can was part of a ship that was headed, I think, from Ireland to I don't know, South Africa or something like that, and it fell off. So it's a pretty crazy current event. We got a trash can floating around, making its way to South California, South Carolina. Not Cal- There's no California yet, but I'm telling you, one of these days, California's gonna fall off, and we're gonna have some division there.
we're gonna have a lot more shipping containers in the ocean. Oh, that's funny. All right. Well, that was our segment for the current event of the week.
Mhm.
So, what else you got for us, Alex? What else you got for
Well,
us for this week?
as part of the Ethereal podcast and the Greater Ethereal Institute, we want y'all to learn and develop, and we want people to become better human beings. Jordan Peterson says that our goal should be to be a better you than you were the day before, and I feel like with that comes learning, and we never stop learning. That's what life's about. So this week we want y'all to learn about a current topic, a pretty big one, to digest, and it's technology and the generational divide. I think it's very important to consider the generational divide. Like our parents grew up with phones that were carried in briefcases or connected to their car, and we have more computing power then the first space shuttle and a phone, an iPhone today. Like that's
Yep.
according. I mean, that was expected due to Moore's law, but
A calculator. Yeah.
like impressive. So technology and the generational divide. So I think that's the generational divide is kind of what propagated this boomer ideology, where like the divide between like Gen Z and like millennial and all that and boomers. So for that we're gonna suggest each week we're gonna suggest, along with the theme, to think about and ponder throughout the week. Also to interact through audio. So we're gonna suggest something for you to listen to. We're gonna suggest a short story, not something that'll take up too much of your time, just something to tickle your brain. And then we also suggest, if you got a little bit more time and you really want to experience the theme and delve deeper into it, we're going to suggest possibly a movie or a longer book. So you want to go ahead and tell them what we're going to be listening to this week?
Yeah. So we're going to be listening to the Veldt by Deadmau5. Deadmau5.
So,
Sorry.
So do you think it's Dead Mouse or Dead Mao 5? I think we have to spell it out for our listeners. Also, keep in mind, everything that we're mentioning and whatnot is going to be linked in the description, and what we're also gonna provide you. I think we can provide them with both PDF versions, as well as like if you want to have a hard copy of it, we might be able to. I don't know if they still even sell like CDs and whatnot.
Well, yeah, we can think about that. Definitely in the description though, above anything else. So yeah.
But just so you know, the Veldt, it's spelled THE, the Veldt, VELDT, and then the artist is Dead Mouse, and it's DEADMAU5. You want me to go ahead and tell them what they're gonna be reading this week? Short story.
Yep.
So this is pretty cool, actually. It's also called the Veldt. Now, the song is inspired by this short story, and the short story is by Ray Bradbury, who wrote Fahrenheit 451. Great author. So read that this week. Check it out, and let us know your thoughts and the feelings in the comments about each one of these medias. Let's go ahead and tell them the last form of media, and that is movies.
Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of y'all have heard of this one. I mean, this one made the waves a couple years ago. Blade Runner 2049. It is way up there in terms of not only cinematography. Everyone wants to talk about that, but the theme of just decay and overall nullification, I think, of what it means to be human, is a huge theme throughout that whole movie, and it just really plays into what we're hopefully gonna study along with you this week, with technology and the idea of a generational gap and disconnection. So I'd highly recommend, if you've never seen it, to check it out. It is a phenomenal movie in many ways. However, that's my opinion. You should check it out for yourself and form your own. That's always the goal here.
Yep. But, yes, and please have an unbiased opinion. Don't let us or the theme like necessarily reflect in your own view. Like, we want you to think, to come up with your own thoughts and ideas and your own viewpoint, because that's what's important. Is the diversity of human experience brings about the diversity of human perspective. So please go through these different forms of media that are connected to the topic and let us know what you think from your perspective, because that's what we care about, is your ideas and the community.
Absolutely. Well,
FYI, we also want you to know that the homework every week, it's not going to be just you by yourself. We're going to also connect with you. So the next episode we are going to take out the icebreaker games, and we're going to put a plug into going over, reviewing, and mentioning some of y'all's comments and ideas, and also promoting the theme and with exclamations from each media.
Definitely. Absolutely.
All right, guys.
Well,
I don't know. How do you feel about this first episode? Ready to close it out?
I'm ready to close it out, man. This was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to where this thing takes us. This is gonna be a blast. I'm looking forward to it. It's be fun.
Absolutely.
All right.
Please come along with us. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment. Tell us what you like, what you don't, and also just know that we'll be here every week, letting y'all in on a little bit of Ethereal. Thank you all for tuning into our podcast, and please join us next time.
Thanks, guys. All right.
Have a great day.